Hello. Hi, Swati. Good evening.
Hi Govardhan, good evening.
So how are you doing?
I'm good.
Okay. So I heard you're looking for training on talent. What is the requirement? May I know your requirement first, so that then I can take you through the talent demo.
The requirement is like we have few jobs. We connect to different databases, and we have to generate reports based on that. What kind of fields are empty and all based on the databases. We have like Oracle database and one SQL database. Uh, in both of them, we have employees, students, records. So based on the requirement, we have to generate the reports.
Okay.
That's the primary requirement which may come up this week.
Mm-hmm.
And normally we have four to five jobs which are automated in a queue, like MQ series and all. So they'll be running all the time. So if we have any production issue, we have to see them.
Okay. So you're working on talent currently, or you're planning to work on how it is?
Actually, I'm new to Talend. I'll
Okay.
be working this week.
Okay.
I'm trying to learn the technology. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So let me take you through, a little demo which may take 20 minutes of your time. Next 20 minutes of your time. Before
Mm-hmm.
starting that, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Govardhan. I have 9 years of experience in IT,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working for a product-based company currently. And from last 7 years, I'm into data warehousing and working on different ETL tools and reporting tools. And on Talend, I'm working from last 5.5 years. I'm working on Talend, and I'm a certified talent professional.
Okay.
So this is about me.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, like, what is the necessity of having talent in the place of ETL tool or a data integration tool? Basically, what happens is nowadays the data is growing rapidly in terms of volume and variety, because the expectation of the customer, okay, is expanding its wings. The customer's expectations are the end user information that they want to see is of more typical, and it's more kind of accurate type. That means they want to see the data in detail so that they can take the proper business decisions. Okay, that is because of that reason we are capturing huge amount of data. Okay, earlier if you go back 10 years, right, we are not capturing this much of information earlier, but now we are capturing this information, huge data, because the customer requirements are changed. So how do you deal with such kind of variety data, or variety data, when you're processing it? That's a challenge. And developing ETL solutions in-house can be a long and complex effort. That means if you want to develop some kind of implementation or some kind of calculation or transformation according to the business, if you want to implement some logic, probably what you'll be doing is, when using with any other ETL tools, you will be developing that one in a single place and your job will run successfully. But what if a issue comes there? What if you need to make some kind of enhancement to the existing code? That means then you just have to go through the code thoroughly, okay, and you have to make sure that the changes that you are doing will not impact any other part of the codes. Okay, so that is another challenge. So multiple projects usually result in a difficult to maintain patchwork and ad hoc applications. Like I said, when you're developing single complex logic, okay, and maintaining that logic or complex code, it will be difficult for for the people who are working on the technology when you're dealing with other ETL tools. So how that can be handled? How that question can be answered? And also the other challenge is that the data integration platforms can be expensive in the current budgetary climate. That means there are ETL tools which are more powerful than Talend, but but I can't invest such a huge money on that buying the license of that particular tool or software because of my company limits in the budget or revenue. So in that case, I should be looking at a moderate expensive tool. Still, it will fulfill my requirement. So that is another challenge. So all these challenges can be answered by the tool called Talend. Okay, you can handle the volume, huge volume of data and wide variety of data using Talend, and the ETL solutions that are developed, which are having the complex effort, can be splitted into multiple subjobs, and then the subjobs can be connected together so that in case of any patchwork or enhancements to the existing code comes in future, then we will go to that particular part only, and then we will make the changes accordingly, and it will not impact the other parts of the code because we are not touching it and we have segregated the code implementation separately. And the Talend license comes with a moderate budget, so everybody can afford it. I mean, every company, small company can afford it. So that is another advantage of the license expenses in terms for Talend in terms of money investment. Okay, so you understand, Swati? Any
Yeah.
questions here?
No, not that much right now.
Okay. So what is Talend now? So Talend is open source data integration system. This is a platform, okay, on which you'll be able to develop ETL, logics implementation and data management. Data management is nothing but integration. Data integration is nothing but moving the data from one environment to another environment by fitting it properly, by making proper implementations and calculations or transformations and all. And it is having unified repository for storing and reusing the metadata. So what happens is, if you want to access the same database, okay, but you have to access 20 different tables. Okay, let's suppose your project is accessing 20 different tables in a single database. So whenever you're extracting the data, you just need to establish one connection. You need to set up the connection to the database from Talend. In that case, you can't define the same connection 25 times, right? So what happens is you can just create one connection and keep it in the metadata, then you just use it.
Mm-hmm.
That means it gives you the flexibility of reusing the metadata. That means you just define the connection and use it wherever it is required across the project. You don't need to explicitly give all the details in each and every component whenever you are connecting to the database. And the provides data connectivity support for any data integration platform. That means Talend is having huge number of components, okay, using which you will be able to connect to any kind of source system. For example, Oracle, we have connectors, and for SQL Server, we have connections. For MySQL, we have connections. That means data connectivity support means components that are available for connecting to different source systems. Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, SQL Server, Netezza, Cassandra, SAP, everything. Okay, and this is the Talend history. It was founded in 2005, and first product was released in 2006 with the name Talend Open Studio. Then they have in 2008 they have over 1 million downloads, and it's keep on growing and growing because Talend basically developed using Java code. The
Okay.
backend code of Talend is Java, and it is available in two versions. I'll tell you about that in the coming slides. So it has a huge number of downloads. So these are the clients that they are having around the world as per 2012. So Talend is available in two kinds. I mean, it's a two offerings are there for this product. One is Open Studio, and second one is subscription-based enterprise data management solutions. That means Talend Open Studio is nothing but it doesn't require any license, and you don't need to pay any money. Just log into talend.com site, download it for yourself, and use it. In that case, your laptop or desktop will be the server and client. Everything will be in your laptop. And subscription-based enterprise data management solutions is nothing but Talend Integration Studio. First one is Talend Open Studio, TOS. Second one is TIS, Talend Integration Suite. Okay. So what happens is this, if you buy a license, you will be getting this Talend Integration Suite, which is like having, I mean, you will be having more connectors when compared with Open Studio, and you will be having one interesting guy called Talent Administration Center, where you will be able to schedule all your jobs, and you can do a lot of things, and you have additional number of components when you go with Talent Integration Suite. Okay, so this is the architecture of the Talent. Any questions so far, Swati?
No, actually I have
Basic
few
architecture.
little bit idea of that. TOS Open Studio. I have
Okay.
idea about components, metadata. I have created few basic jobs, but
Okay. Good.
in-depth knowledge I don't have.
Sorry, in the.
In-depth knowledge I don't have
Okay.
because
Okay. So
yeah,
whatever information that I'm now telling you, is it understandable, right?
yeah I can.
Okay, good. So this is the architecture of Talend. Okay, so this Talend architecture is the architecture of Talend Integration Suite. Okay, which I'll say is a licensed version of Talend. In general, what happens is if it is a open studio, this is the only component. That's it. No other components will be available, because your laptop is gonna, or your computer is gonna be your studio. That's it. No other things will be available in the Talend architecture. But when you go with licensed version of Talend, this is the architecture. In this architecture, we are seeing different components, under which these components have set up on a single platform, like in the structure, in the diagram, and these are outside. That means this is client server architecture. Okay, this is all sits in the server, and these are all the clients. Like from externally, we'll be able to connect to this server. This is client server architecture. So here what happens is, now what first point, when you buy Talend Enterprise licensed version, okay, so what happens is you will be getting one license file and all the other some components for installation and all. So installation is now done. Next, what happens is Swati has given one license to do some kind of development, and Govardhan is also has given one kind of one license for the development. Now what happens is when Swati opens Talend Studio, and when she develops one job and saves it, okay, the job will go and saved in the SVN server. Okay, so what is this SVN server? SVN server is nothing but it's a subversion where you can be able to maintain the history and versions of the jobs that you are developing in the studio. That means we have created a project called ABC, okay, for which Swati has been given the access. So whatever the jobs that Swati develops under project ABC, those jobs will be saved in the SVN servers. Okay, the connectivity, I mean, when you develop some job in studio, how SVN will know about that, or how SVN will know about Swati is doing some kind of development here? That is through Talend Administration Center. So this Talend Administration Center is the manager here who will actually take care of the executions of each and every components mentioned in the Talend architecture. So when Swati develops a job, and when she saves it, the SVN server will be noted, it will be notified with one job save is there. Then what this guy will do, this guy will check with the administration center. Do I need to save that job? Because Swati is asking me to save a job. Then what this Talend Administration Center will do, he will check whether Swati has been allocated with a license or not. That is called check authorization. That means when Swati is allocated with a license, Talent Administration Center will be aware of it. So this Talent Administration Center will tell this SVN, okay, whatever the changes that Swati will do for the jobs in studio, just save them. That means the connectivity between studio and the SVN server is in such a way that whatever the changes or development we do here will be written to the SVN server, and whatever the jobs that are available in the SVN server under that project can be accessible through this studio, provided you have the proper permissions. Is this clear, the connectivity between these three components, Swati?
Yeah.
Sure? No
Yeah.
questions, right? Okay.
No.
Good. Now what happens is, so now we have seen project metadata. SVN server is subversion server which will store project metadata. That means all the data about the projects. What are the projects created? Who are the users having the access to those projects? And what kind of access they are having, etc. Every information will be saved in the SVN server. And Studio is a place where from where we will do the development. And Talend Administration Center is a it's a component where it will be able to control all the other components in the architecture. Now what happens is, in that web browser is nothing but, it is like when you install this licensed version of Talend, you will be able to generate one URL. That URL will be having the server name. That server name is nothing but the server in which you have installed Talend, and port number, and activity monitoring console. It's like we'll type www.gmail.com. Like that, we are going to type one URL. When you type that URL, I'll explain that about that URL formation if we go to the classes. Okay. So this web browser, what happens is, if you type that such kind of URL, that means you are accessing the Talend Administration Center's graphical user interface, GUI. So in the web browser, that means when you open web browser and type that URL of Talend Administration Center, which we call as TAC, that URL, it will open the GUI in which you will be able to see the jobs that are being scheduled, or you can schedule the jobs using the web browser. So whatever the jobs that you are scheduled in the web browser, scheduling in the sense you want one particular job to run at 6 p.m. every day or 7 p.m. every day, like that. So what will happen is that job will be executed at the scheduled time. Now what happens is, this Talend Administration Center will have another guy called execution server. Okay. So whatever the jobs that are scheduled in web browser will be executed at that particular time by the execution server. And you can have one or more execution servers based on your project load, or based on your project volume, or based on how big your project is. You can have multiple execution servers. Okay, if you see here, it is deploy and launch jobs. Whenever you deploy the jobs through web browser, Talend Administration Center will know about that, and Talend Administration Center will give that information to the execution server. This execution server will execute the jobs at the particular scheduled time. That is the relationship between web browser, Talend Administration Center, and execution server. And in order to open this web browser, we need to have Apache Tomcat application server up and running. That is the one which will actually make this web browser URL up and running. And one more thing, we can run the jobs from Studio also, right? So whenever it's not only like we will schedule the jobs and execute them, but when we are developing the Studio, from there also we can execute the jobs. In that case, whatever the jobs that we execute at that particular point, by clicking that run, this execution server will take care of that execution, and it will run it, and it will show you the results. So these are the components that are there in the Talend architecture. And one component we have, last component is DB here. So what happens is, this Talend Administration Center will be taking care of all these guys. Okay, all these guys. So SVN server, execution server, command line, everything. Okay, now the metadata of all those components will be saved in this database. That means how many SVN servers are there, how many projects are scheduled, how many execution servers I am running, I am connecting, all that admin metadata will be saved in one database. This database is called H2 database. Okay, when you buy Talend licensed version, you will be getting one inbuilt database which is H2 database. That H2 database will take care of all the administration metadata. Okay, users, rights, permissions, etc. everything, and that will be saved here. And if you don't want to use that H2 database, you can use your normal database also by connecting to the different databases. This is the architecture of Talend. Any questions, Swati? Any confusion?
No.
Okay, fine. So now this is the Talend course content. Basically, whenever I used to teach this training, I'll be having the course is split into these three categories. First one is basics, and second one is enterprise, and third one is enterprise administration. This third one speaks about installation and administration of Talend. Okay, this component will not speak about the development. Okay,
Okay.
and this one will talk about development plus how do you schedule the jobs and all, how to play with the GUI, Talend Administration Center and all. Okay, that means administration part will be seen here, will be created here. And in the basics, there is no administration part, only studio and development. And here development plus a little of administration center. And here, this is the administration center installation or installation of Talend and all. So these are the core subjects. So when you go into like course content kind of thing, this is gonna be okay. So how to start the studio, how to create jobs, how to read the inputs, how to transform the data, how do you combine the columns, and how to duplicate the jobs, how do you create metadatas, and how do you handle joins and business models. Okay, how to replicate the different outputs, how do you generate the rows, and how to create context variables, and how to build the business models and update the business models, and how do you connect to databases, how do you create new projects, how do you connect the tables with different joins, and what are the types of joins, and what are the web services, how do we handle. This is advanced topic of Talend, where we will be dealing with some kind of .NET coding or Java coding. And this is enterprise version. This enterprise version will be having like how to create a connect to repository, how to use the existing SVN branches, parallel executions, how do you monitor the job activities and all. And this is the administration. Administration will talk about installations and project management, and how do you schedule the jobs in job conductor, and what is activity monitoring console, what is command line, etc. So,
Okay.
so this is the demo, Swati. So any questions you have, you can ask me.
No, I don't have any questions. We'll be working with web services also. So
Oh, good.
mainly the jobs which we automate are for web services.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't start working till now. I'll be working this week. I have a task. So
Okay.
as I said, we have to create reports. Yeah. So then I'll get much idea about it.
Okay. So where are you located in?
I'm in Connecticut.
Okay, Connecticut. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, Swati. Any questions or
Do you have idea about Layer 7 API gateway?
Layer 7 API gateway?
Yeah.
No. I have worked
Okay.
with APIs. What authorizations are there? Layer
Yeah.
7, I haven't.
It's also called like CA API gateway. It's been acquired by CA now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so this jobs which will be created in Talend, all these web services will be hitting the Layer 7 gateway. And when it hits it, we need to provide authorization, authentication to those web services.
Yes. See
Security
how it
layer.
works. Yeah, how it works is like, right? when you're trying to access the data or a database or an application through one URL or through one web service is nothing but it's an URL, okay, basically in which you will be able to provide all the information. So when you try to connect through that web services to a particular site or a database, it will go and hit it, and there that database or application will stop that web service. Boss, thank you for coming here, but I want one more authorization or one more access permission from your side. So then what happens is that web service will again come and will ask for access token or refresh token kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what happens is you can provide that one by manually, or you can write the code in such a way that it will generate that access token automatically, and it will submit to that database or application when it goes for the second time. Okay. So
Mhm.
that is OAuth 2 and OAuth authorizations actually.
Yeah, will be HTTP basic OAuth is like that's the mandatory one which will be
Yeah.
given.
Yes.
Apart from
And
that,
mhm,
yeah,
mhm.
yeah,
Go ahead.
go on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Apart
No problem.
apart from that, we'll give more authentication like uh, creating assertions, different
Mhm.
kinds of context variables on that particular service, like requiring more security.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we have worked for getting the data from Facebook. We
Mm-hmm.
have one of the old project a couple of years back where we need to get the data from Facebook site for that particular client. He is having one page. Now what
Okay.
happens is you need to form a URL, okay, www.facebook.com/user/like/post, something like that. You need to form it, but there's a dynamic. That means all that values that you are passing through that URL are dynamic, and they should be passed through context variables by deriving some logic at some other place. Okay. So in that case, what happens is Facebook will accept OAuth 2 authorization. But whereas if you want to get the information from YouTube, OAuth user authorization is fine. Okay, that means it depends on what kind of site or what kind of application that you are trying to access to get the data. So that CR layer 7 that you are talking about might be it might be available for some other applications or sites in which I may have not worked, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just asking
Yeah.
because I'm looking for both of them, Talent and Layer 7. So that's the reason. Yeah. Okay. When will you be available? Like, I'll be after 6 o'clock in US time, Eastern, after 6 p.m. For
What is it? I mean,
support of
are you in
training.
East? Connecticut is in East time zone, I think.
Yeah, EST.
So what is the
So,
time there now?
uh, now it is like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Sunday, I think, right? That's why
Yes.
you are feeling little sleepy still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because every
So,
week I work here.
yeah, I understand. I understand. Sunday is the only day that you can have life
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
wish. That is common in IT anyway.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's now 6 p.m. here in India. So that is 8 a.m. there. So you are saying like evening 6 o'clock, after 6 o'clock your time is it?
yeah, evening 6 o'clock in my time. Means
Mm-hmm.
it will be morning for you, 3 a.m. So
Okay.
anytime after eight
What about
o'clock.
6 a.m.? 6 a.m. is fine. 6 a.m.
So,
IST?
for you, if it is morning, it will be yeah, yeah, 6 a.m. IST you said, right? Yeah, then fine, 8 p.m. for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
that
think
is
that works fine with me. 6 to
yeah
7.
for training till I get task. Once I get task, can you give job support and like that?
Yeah, yeah, I will definitely.
Okay. Yeah. So.
So how we will plan is let us continue the classes on daily basis. Okay.
Mhm. Mm.
So then when you get a job kind of request, right, we will have both of them running parallelly.
Yeah. Okay.
You just tell me the requirement. I'll try to work it out once I finish the
Yeah,
call.
I have to get my license, talent license. If I get this
Mhm.
week, I'll start working on that. Yeah, I'm waiting for my license. My company people are taking a lot of time.
Yeah, because they have to pay money, right?
Yeah.
Sure, Swati. Please talk
Yeah.
to the guy who
I'm
scheduled this
also
meeting.
parallelly I'm also listening to many people. So I'll let
Mhm.
you know which one I'll go. Okay. Means
No problem. Yeah, that's what the person who
hello.
connect. Yes, yes. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the person who connected with me, right? Just keep him posted. He will come back to me. Yeah. Hello, Swati. Am I audible? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, Swati. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah, 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 yeah. Actually, I'm also listening to other people's demos also.
No problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
okay. I'll let you know by today evening, mostly.
Yeah, the person who connected you to this meeting, right? Please keep him posted. He will update me.
Yeah, okay, Gautam. Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
Swati. Nice to have you. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for your time. Take
yeah,
care. Have a
thank
great
you.
day. Bye.
You too. Bye.